Alright, this is going to be a short and very pathetic entry. So I've been chronicling my getting back into Magic through Magic the Gathering Arena. And I did the initial one a year ago on the podcast feed for my Last of Us book, so that one got quite a bit of listenership. But then after that, I was like, all right, I'm just going to move these updates to YouTube because they're so super specific. And because they're so super specific and no one actually cares about listening to someone complain about Magic the Gathering, they get no views. Like no one has been following this little journey. There's really no point to these updates, but I want to just finish it off. But basically it's the same old. It's that I used to play Magic back in the 90s and it was always really fun in person, and I don't have any memory of getting angry at playing Magic. And I sucked at first, I lost all the time, but it's just because it was a different experience. It was a social experience, it was hanging out with your friends. Trying to win at Magic was really never the point. And then Magic the Gathering Arena seemed really cool because I was curious about the state of the game and I wanted to play the new cards and the new sets. And it's like, oh, cool, there's this free-to-play version. I can play some Magic, I can learn about all the new stuff. And then it's just been this non-stop, right from the get-go. I ended up making a little sign that I hung on my computer that said, "Losing is okay, dude," to try to remind myself not to get mad. Like, out of the gates, this is just something was so fucking wrong with this. And just over the past year, I've just been tiresomely chronicling the same thing. I get angry at this game and I quit. And then I think up some new way to approach it and I reinstall it, and it seems like it's working better at first. Like, just play non-competitive decks on purpose, or don't try to care about win rate, just play for the daily rewards or whatever. And I started a second account, like just play draft, maybe that'll be different. And every time it's the same thing. It's just I just play till I get really upset. And it's like, man, I broke a desk. That was pretty bad. I escalated to the point where I hit myself in the head just because I'm full of this frustration. I don't know how to get it out, and I'm just punching myself in the head. I was tired and exhausted, but it's I don't know. It's I just didn't think about it that much in the moment. I guess it's because it releases endorphins to try to get the stress feeling out of your body. But, after I slept on that one, I'm like, that's pretty crazy. But then that started sort of happening more often. And it's like, Jesus, what is happening? I've always had a bad temper with video games. I'll break stuff. What is this punching myself in the head shit? Next thing you know, I'm Googling about people who punch themselves in the head. Nothing else in life makes me punch myself in the head. It's like, what is this shit? I broke a laptop. That's pretty bad. I remember it was a fucking brawl game, some stupid brawl game where this guy just had a Voltron deck, I guess you call it, where you pile a whole bunch of equipment and enchantments on one creature, and I couldn't kill the one creature, and I just smashed my fucking computer. Lost a bunch of stuff I was working on. When's it bad enough for me to stop? It's just it never is. And I'll have these different revelations about that. This is just it's tying into this nostalgia I had. That's the only reason I'm playing this game. Normally I wouldn't. Or then when I keyed into this is addict behavior. I'm clearly addicted. Now that I know that, surely I'll stop. And then I don't stop. I guess the most recent one was the sets just rotated. I made it through 2 rotations. Last time I didn't have any cards. This time I got a bunch of cards. So in this new, the standard 2022 queue where you just play a small selection of the new sets, and I've got virtually everything from that array of sets. I got wild cards enough that I could make whatever I want. I realized part of this was just the being like addicted to acquisition, to just getting more cards, to just grinding out more cards. Because once I hit that point where I could have whatever I wanted, I did realize I only had this moment of clarity after getting angry and rage and uninstalling again. But like, I pretty much got whatever I want. There's no big super top tier deck that I can't get. Before, I was just in a flood of like, I'll never catch up. I'll never be able to have all the cards I want to have. I can never quite make the decks I want to make. And I don't want to just make the top tier decks and play them over and over. I'm always trying to make weird different stuff. Like, you know, as I finish my days with Magic, I have a Colossal Plow deck. You get some fucking, what is it called? It's this creature from the new D&D set. Ingenious Smith helps you search up your Colossal Plow and your Relic Golem. Just look that shit up. No one in the history of Earth has ever played Relic Golem, but I'm playing them. Some treasure vault so it can find artifact land. It's, you know, it's kind of synergistic. Fucking, what's that guy's name? Egon, the God of Death, can crew the plow. But what if you don't find the plow? So I put in some Eska's Chariots, and it's like, it's a plow deck. It's a meme. It's stupid. No one plays the fucking plow. But I figured out a way to make the plow deck without the ox, and like, when it works, it's amazing. You know, once you get the plow going by turn 3, you plow over people. You plowed mono green, a plowed mono white. It's like, wow, these are top tier decks, and I'm beating them with my plow. You know, that's the kind of shit I always liked. I always made stupid decks back in the day. And figuring out how to make it semi-competitive is fun. It's like a little fucking dumb math problem. But the problem is the times when I don't win, and I just can't get past it. I mean, I've said it a million times, but it just hasn't changed. I cannot learn how to accept the loss. Like, I guess a lot of it too is the availability. It used to be rare to play Magic. You had your cards, and you had to go hang out with your friends. You had to go find people. We used to go to the university and play. Sometimes I would play at work when I worked at a comic shop. There was a limit to how much Magic you could fucking have in your life. That's no longer the case, you know? Like, Magic the Gathering Online, I guess, existed, but I find it hard to even watch YouTube videos of it. It's so weird looking. But Arena's right there. You can play all day. And I keep, like, just making caveats for myself, making new plans. And this time this was the closest one to working, but it was play a game and then go edit like a podcast I'm working on, edit 5 minutes of audio. And that would be enough time to kind of calm me down either way, to kind of calm down the little rush if I won, and calm down the anger if I lost. And if I did that, if I took that break between games, things went way better. It basically worked, except that I couldn't convince myself to do that. And it was like the worst part is, as the day went on, as it got later and later at night, as I was getting more and more tired, I would lose more and more of my ability to regulate my emotions, and I would stop taking those breaks. Like, I'll just play one more game. You know, it's that horrible thing of like, either you just want that one more win to get your last reward of the day, or you just want to win to try to regulate how bad you feel because you just got your ass beat in this random ass game where you oftentimes, 50% of the time at least, you get your ass beat. And you're just chasing that dumb feeling, and it just makes it worse when you lose again, and next thing you know. And breaking desks is insane. Breaking a computer was insane. Punching myself doesn't seem to have any long-term effects, but I don't know. There's this wrestler. Man, what's the guy's name? He's from New Japan Pro Wrestling. Shibata. He had to retire from a headbutt. He got a subdermal hematoma from headbutting someone, where it's like a buildup of blood in your brain. And I don't know, it's pro wrestling. How hard? I mean, he was headbutting people very hard. It sounded like a coconut hitting something. It was kind of gross. But I mean, I'm not punching myself lightly. I don't know, your head can really take a fucking hit. I'm trying to make my body release some painkiller hormones to get rid of my stress. You gotta hit yourself kind of hard. And it's like, what if? That's like, what if I gave myself some kind of weird hematoma thing from playing Magic? That'd be insane. But that's the point of, I guess, being addicted to something, is there is absolutely not a point where it's too much. There just isn't. But yesterday, the worst thing yet happened. I was grinding my teeth because I was so mad. And I was hurting my jaw, and I couldn't open my mouth all the way. And like at that point, it's like, just stop, man. Why don't you stop playing? The signs couldn't be clearer that you're losing your shit, that you're out of control right now. But it's just addiction shit. You just can't. And then it's like the little, like when dentists are working on your teeth and doing the drill, and you can, those little shards of enamel that you can kind of, they get on your tongue. I've only ever felt that at a fucking dentist. But I felt it. It's like a little tiny bit of tooth enamel. And I can feel it right now. It's like, not my front tooth, but like one over from that. I chipped part of my tooth because I was grinding my jaw so hard because I was so mad because I was losing. And it was like a fucking, an Amonkhet draft where they gave everybody a free entry. Since I got the 2 accounts now, I played it on the first account and I lost my shit. So I'm like, again, just trying to tell myself, like I said, just don't do it. Especially don't do it today. But I logged onto my second account and I just did the draft. It's like, well, I'll just draft the deck and I won't play it today. But then I played it and then I ground my teeth until I like, it's just a little chip, but that's my fucking tooth. That's not coming back. That's insane. That's, everything else was insane. This is beyond insane. So I slept on it, and when I woke up today, you know, my subconscious sorting things out for me, which again, I don't know what kind of weird escape this stupid game is for me. Usually it's like I'll try to think about a deck, and like, you know, I would wake up going like, oh, if I can splash green, I can put Eska's Chariot in my fucking plow deck. You know, that's what my subconscious would be doing. What my subconscious figured out today is you can probably request account deletion. So I looked it up on wizards.com and I just filled out the form. And it's like, here it is. Here's my 2 accounts. If you need me to do a second form for the second one, fucking whatever. Here you go. Explained why. Explained that I chipped my tooth. And I need you to delete this shit for me, please, because I can't stop reinstalling this game. So, I mean, that literally has to be it. At this point, I would have to start a new account and start building cards again. And there's no fucking way I'm going to do that. I had a pretty good standard set, pretty up on standard after a year of grinding this game. But again, it's like, whatever, who cares, man? There's this guy Connor from the Trash Taste podcast. He talked about how he was like a League of Legends grinder for like 5 years. He had 4 accounts. He spent like thousands of dollars. My dad just passed away this year, and he played World of Tanks for years. And his friends would make fun of him because he was so reticent to pay for stuff in the game. He would just grind stuff. But even when he was at home toward the end in a hospital bed dying of cancer, when I would go visit him, he'd be playing World of Tanks, and you know, he'd be like distracted, like he didn't, it's like, yeah, okay, thanks for picking up my stuff for me and my medication and stuff. You could tell he kind of wanted to get back to World of Tanks. And I was like, you know, hey, whatever, at least World of Tanks is something for him to focus on, something to get his mind off of things. And maybe it is, you know, maybe there is an upside to this. He didn't seem to get angry at World of Tanks, so good on him. But then after he died, one of his friends was talking about how, like, yeah, Neil gave me his World of Tanks account. I was just like, geez, that's it, eh? That's how it all ends. Like, I was just glad he didn't give me his World of Tanks account, so I didn't have to pretend that I care. But again, like, I wish that was enough. I wish the example of, like, man, my dad blew tons of time on a free-to-play game, not unlike what I'm doing, grinding away. Right up to the end, he was playing that dumb game, and it's just like, what the fuck was that for? I wish that was enough, but it wasn't. Didn't stop me from playing Magic. And yeah, like I said, I realized that maybe I never finished that point. It was the acquisition part. Like, I realized I've got all the cards I need. They even had one of those special events where you can build any deck you want with any cards you want, and I didn't even add anything to my accounts. I'm like, it's like, whatever, I got it. I got what I need. I'm not even playing this game for the fun of this game. I'm just playing to acquire more rares, to get more stuff. Whatever this weird, like, whatever Magic was back in the day, you know, like they say Magic as Richard Garfield intended it, you know, like Richard Garfield always talks about how he just wanted all the cards to be in a big black garbage bag and everybody just gets some. He just wanted it to be a weird mess that you play in between D&D sessions. Became this hyper-honed, standardized game where everything is so brutal and yet so random. These decks are so deadly, but like one of these Amonkhet drafts I had, the deck was mainly red, and yet all I drew was black. All I drew was black land. And then one of the other games I only drew 2 land. Like, what a dumb game. There's a certain amount of games that they're just discarded out of hand because you don't even have the ability to play. You didn't even get the resources. Which again, just casually, whatever. Casually, it's fun. I'm still gonna watch game nights on YouTube. We can, have my nice memories of playing with my friends. But competitively, this game is bananas. It makes no fucking sense. And when you play on Arena, it just has that competitive feel. No matter how casual you try to make it, it just has the competitive feel. I don't think there's any such thing as fucking casual Magic Arena. Everyone talks about getting mad at it. Everyone gets tilted. You're just playing against a faceless opponent. You're playing for, it's not like some rare tournament even that you're entering. Every day you're playing for resources. You're playing for gold. You're playing to open packs. You're playing to get more cards. Playing to get access to limited events and stuff, and just it's perfectly set up to just make somebody like me frustrated. And yeah, man. Once I realized that I could request the account deletion, I can't imagine what could happen after this. The game is really miserable to play. When I started that second account to just grind gold to try limited, which I don't know, I thought maybe limited was the solution, but limited's not much more, I don't know, it's kind of fun, but thought it would be more fun. But anyway, yeah, having less cards is less fun. It's so much more fun to have the cards, to have a viable deck. Playing the weird half-ass decks where you just don't have anything that you wish that you had, those are so annoying. Like, I cannot imagine starting over. That's not the way. The way, if there is a way, to just put in your credit card, spend thousands of dollars, get all the cards, just have what you want. But then it's like, I wasn't even playing for the fun of playing. The game's not that fun when you're not playing with your friends and stuff. I was just playing for the little buzz of acquisition. Junky bullshit. Anyway, it's got to be over now. Sent my little request. Might take them some time to process it, but it's disappointing, it's deflating. And this cycle just keeps going over and over. That's why realizing I could delete the accounts is like, oh, thank goodness, because I just know it's going to happen again. This has conservatively happened 8 times. The longest I quit was 3 weeks. Then it's like, yeah, even this time where I'm like, well, man, yeah, this D&D set's a little whack. There's no decks I'm particularly excited about making in the new format. I've got all the cards that I want. I don't even care. I don't even want this stuff. But why was it that after like less than a week I just started playing again? Because again, it's like, well, it'll help me get work done. If I do the play one game, do some work. Play a game, do some work. Arguably, it kind of worked. I was working at a snail's pace, but I was getting stuff done. But, didn't work. None of this works. Chipped my tooth. I can feel it with my tongue. Just a tiny chip, but my teeth are all smooth, and then this one in the front, it's jagged. It's like, what in the goddamn fuck, man? That's fucking permanent damage. It's not just the ephemeral embarrassment or shame of losing your temper. It's not the potential fear of like, surely hitting myself in the head cannot go well. But that's just a potential problem. This one is, that's it. That's for the rest of my life. Got a chip on my tooth. Good work, fucking idiot. So anyway, there's the end of that update. This is done now. And it's like, I was like, what can I mean, the one account, especially the one I've been grinding all year, like it's pretty good. It's got a lot of stuff. I'm like, man, what could I do with this? Because you can't exchange cards, you can't trade cards, you can't do anything with this. I've had like, for 1 second, I was like, oh, there's the magic board on 4chan. I could just post it there, first come, first serve. But then I was like, wait a minute. My fucking email is associated with this account. To even speak on 4chan is a huge mistake. To offer them up identifying information about yourself, no, there's no way to be a good Samaritan about this. There's nothing useful to do with this. It's like I could give it to one of my friends I used to play Magic with, but again, he's got kids now. He doesn't want to really play Arena. He was just saying how all he liked doing was drafting, but he didn't have time to grind. It's like, well, I could give him the account. I've got enough saved up in there. You can do a bunch of drafts. But yeah, I'm just sending the evil to him. Like, he's got a life. He's got a wife and kids. He doesn't need to be playing fucking Magic. And if he's got it, I can always ask for it back. Eventually, I'll just be like, give it back, please. Can I have the account back? It's gotta go. It's gotta go, and now it's gone. All right, that was longer than I thought it would be. It always takes longer than I expect. Whoever you might be, thank you for listening. I don't know, man. It's the Catch-22. Magic's a fun game. It's cool. It's fun to read about the cards. Cool to see the little worlds they build. Cool to remember the olden days, but fuck, man. Fuck. Rest in peace to my tooth. All right, adios.